change your life, not about haiku that can actually give you practical information. I've been writing and reading and publishing haiku at Tiny Words for about 10 years, and it's definitely changed my life. So how many of you have written haiku before? Cool. It's easy. Now everybody knows how to write, right? 5 syllables in the first line, 7 in the second, 5 in the third. This is the way we were all taught to do it in America. The problem is, that doesn't really get to the spirit of haiku. And actually in English, the syllables work out to be, like if you write a 17-syllable haiku, it's actually really wordy compared to a more accurate translation of the same kind of Japanese haiku. So the thing is, if you just throw the syllables aside and get into the spirit of the haiku, they can be a lot more fun, a lot more funny, really entertaining, and they can teach you a lot about life. So here's how. First of all, haiku help you write better. Because if you don't have a lot of words to work with, you have to choose your words really carefully. And writing, obviously, is really important. We all do it, even for writing email. So writing more precisely. Haiku help you pay attention. Because haiku, if nothing else, is focused on the real world. And paying attention is the essence of good art, as well as, I think, good living. Haiku teaches patience, because sometimes you just want to go out and write a haiku, and it doesn't happen. You have to write 5 different versions, or 10 versions, or 50 versions, or inspiration just doesn't strike at all. So you just have to wait until another day, until the haiku comes to you. Haiku also helps you appreciate the small and wonderful things in life. And for me, it's somebody who can appreciate the small and beautiful little things, the details. Like, that's what makes life worth living. That's what makes people interesting to talk to. So, how do you make this happen? First of all, read haiku every day. There are a ton of great books in the library full of beautiful haiku. There are also some sites I've listed here where you can get new haiku every day. Tiny Words, Daily Issa, Cornell has a site, there are a bunch of others. Write haiku every day. Carry around a notebook. It can be one of these fancy, expensive notebooks that are so trendy. It can be a cheap drugstore notebook or just a stack of index cards. Just carry something so you can write down a haiku whenever you want to curse you, or notes for one. And then just be alert to haiku moments. You never know when something might come, cross your field of vision, or a smell, or a sound, or something that might make a good haiku. If you think it might make a good haiku, make a note. So what makes a good haiku if it's not counting syllables? First of all, immediacy. The basic idea of a haiku is like, hey, check this out, this really cool thing over here, the moon, or the stars. So a haiku should sort of bring you into that same moment when you read it, that the person was in when they wrote it. Second, think small. You can write haiku about huge things like the economy or a Mars mission, but you don't do it by talking about the big part. You find some telling detail, like a little tendril of dust coming up from the moon suit's boot. Show, don't tell. It's much better if you're indirect, and don't try to tell me how strong you feel about something or how hot that girl was. Just do it a little more subtly. A lot of haiku kind of break down into 2 parts. There's a short part followed by a long part, or the reverse. The best haiku, I think, are the ones that kind of have some kind of contrast or comparison or implicit tension between the 2 parts. And finally, use natural language. If you're using some kind of antiquated Shakespearean language, or if you're cutting out so many words to make it short that you sound like Tonto, then it's not going to fly. It should be something you should be able to say. Finally, 17 syllables is kind of the maximum. A lot of people find that 10 to 12 is plenty for English haiku. The basic rule, though, is that haiku should be a poem that you can say in one breath. And there you go. Finally, here's a tip from my friend Jeff Wink, who's a really good haiku poet. Look at the world as if it were one of those puzzles where you have to figure out what's wrong with this picture. You can almost always, in any scene, find something weird or that doesn't fit, or that's odd or catches your eye. That's a good subject for haiku. Haiku is a super social art form, so share haiku with your friends. Tell them your haiku. Email your haiku to them. Hide them in library books and wait for people to find them. And there are also, of course, many websites where you can share them. If you write haiku, I would love to hear about them. You can reach me at dylan@tweeney.com or at Tiny Words. Happy